The stakes are always high to find the perfect lens. Finding the perfect lens is probably something that everybody is looking for. And since I know it's probably something we're all looking for, I decided to do this video to talk about why I got this lens. See, I recently picked up the Sigma 24-70, and I wanted to talk a reason why I went with this lens over getting maybe a Tamron 28-75, the new Sony 24-70 GM Mark II, or any variant of those type of lenses. See, I got the Sigma 24-70, the first version, because one, I found it used for a good price, and two, I was trying to get something more condensed down than using a 28-75 or my 35-150 or a 20-70 f4, because I wanted that extra wideness at 24 millimeters, but also having a 2.8 lens. See, the reason I wanted to go with this 24-70 by Sigma is really mainly because of the good versatility of the lens, since recently with my trip to New York City, I wasn't really having it with the extra weight of my 35-150 when I knew that I didn't need something like that for the close proximities of the city of New York. And since I have a trip coming to London in November, I wanted to have something that could be possibly better to take with me and not have to lug around too many things. So despite the Sigma lens being relatively bigger than the 28-75 to my knowledge, when I was comparing them, at the store when I was looking at this lens, I still liked a little bit better the thread size of having an 82 millimeter thread size in the Sigma rather than having a 67 and having to, use my rings to kind of upscale it to my 82 millimeter thread size filters that I have. Nothing wrong, obviously, with doing that, because I do that for my 20-40, the Tamron as well. And I've done it for other lenses as well. But to me, it's just, I wanted to have something just more condensed down that way, so I could just put one filter on it and kind of be good to go. See, the focal range for me, the 24 is more usable when it comes down to having the wider range. So that's probably my number one thing of why I didn't go with the 28-75 by Tamron, since I have owned it before. It's a good lens, you can do a lot of it. But for me personally, I like to have a little bit of the wider range because you cannot go that much wider, but I don't need to go wider than a 20. So that's the reason why I have a 20-40, for example. I don't need a 17-50 or 17-28 or 16-35 style. So I just wanted to kind of have something that would, go very well with my 20-40 by Tamron, or if I bring my 20-70 by Sony, that's an f4, just to complement whenever it came down to having these lenses. A 24-70 gets a nice reach. So if I want to have one lens stuck for, like, let's say video, if I want to use my 20-40 or 20-70 on my Sony a7S III or ZV-E1, I can leave it on that completely and then use this one for the 24-70 on my a7C Mark II or a7 IV, because it'll just pair up so nicely. And for the price point, I think the 28-75 is a better lens, the one by Tamron, if you're needing to kind of, save some money in that aspect. I know the new version of the Sigma 24-70, despite of it being slightly smaller, I guess, from what they were trying to tell me at the store, and yeah, I guess it kind of felt somewhat lighter. It's like $1,200 for the new one, and I got this one used for like 800 something. So it was kind of fine for me to go with this one because like I said, I wanted that extra wider range for the things that I would need personally. So you can always crop in more, you can't uncrop, you can't add more unless you're doing now the generative AI, but with video, it's a little bit harder. For photo, it's fine, but I want to make my life as easy as possible, and that's just the versatility that this lens has. It's a great lens for the price point, I think, especially the first version of it, if you can find it used. I know that the new version has updated things in here and there. Is it worth it for me to get, maybe $200, $300 more to spend to get the newest version? Not necessarily always for myself, but it could be for somebody else. I just think that this range with a 24-70 is a obviously very popular range. And I think using it with the Sigma over going with the Tamron, for example, just made so much more sense, because whenever I was in New York, I wanted to use a little bit more of that wider range. 35 millimeters on my 35-150 was just too up close for most things. And having that 20-40 that I have of my Tamron lens was just very nice. The condensed version of that lens is just so nice whenever I was just walking around. And the 24-70, it's smaller obviously than my 35-150, not as small as other lenses, but it still feels good in the hand to walk around and use it, you know, perfectly for what I would need when it comes down to creating photos and videos, maybe with just one, you know, camera setup if I want to go out and about. Especially because 24mm to kind of vlog isn't the worst thing in the world, because it's wide enough. It's not the best, obviously, because you want to have not to be just a floating head talking to people, but it's not as bad. And I'm gonna show you real quick. The lighting just kind of sucks right now, but we're gonna fix this real quick. There we go. So this is, you know, doing 24mm with the 24-70. Is it the most ideal when it comes down to having a, you know, vlogging lens? Probably not. But is it usable? Yes, it is. And especially if I really want to just bring this one lens with me, because when I travel, I try not to bring as much attention to me. So I've actually been trying to work on a system to try to use my phone for certain things. And I even got like a variable ND filter clip thing to attach to my phone to make it a little bit nicer so I can get the proper shutter exposures and everything. But then also use my Go3 for whenever I want to do POVs type of content, and we'll do some talking heads videos like this while I'm out and about without having any issues. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to do than when you have a, you know, 16-35 or a 20-40, but is it doable? Well, obviously you're seeing it right now. But the versatility of this lens actually has been helping me out. I've been using it quite a bit for my last few projects, where I've been essentially just using it as kind of like only lens to use for a lot of like filming and maybe some, you know, photos here and there, which is kind of nice because at the end of the day, I want to be able to be fast and efficient. And sometimes I don't want to have to, you know, use my 35-150 when I'm doing projects here at home. I did recently a type of, I guess, I don't want to say vlog style, but like try to, you know, test my skills, if you will, making a video where I was just talking about how I do full-time content creation with my full-time job and my businesses. So I use basically my Sigma 24-70. So if you want to see more footage with it, go check out that video. But with that lens, I was able to do anything from the wide range all the way to the more telephoto range kind of style, because you get that 70 range, which is rather quite nice and useful, so that I can have every aspect that I want to create with one lens on the go at a 2.8. So you kind of can't beat that. And that's what I've been doing with this video right now. I've just been showing you how it works rather than just showing you the lens or just talking about it whatsoever. It's as I'm creating content and talking about it, you guys can see the footage of it and how it works. I've just been essentially doing my everyday tasks today because we're making some steaks, and that's the reason why the title is what it is. I mean, play on words, of course. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, well, can't really help you out much on that one. But yeah, it's a versatile lens that I can use for a lot of quick projects and everything, and especially for budget friendly kind of projects that people might not have the budget for. It allows me to bring this lens because it's something fast and efficient with high quality without having to, you know, overcharge for like rental of gears or anything like that that I might need. I can just use this one lens for photo and video. If I only need to bring, let's say, a Sony a7 IV because of a hybrid setup, it just works nicely. And because of the budget of this lens, it kind of works out for a lot of projects that sadly a lot of people are not going to have higher budgets for certain things. So you kind of have to work around that way. And this is my workaround, I guess. But like I said, this video is more to show you the examples as to why this lens is why I chose it, because it works for my workflow. And to be honest, that's all that matters. If it's a lens that can work for you, then pick it up. If it's not a lens that works for you, then it's not for you. But nothing is better than just getting examples of showing how good a lens can be and how good it performs with the quality and, you know, footage examples. And that's what I wanted to test out today, since I've done plenty of videos where I talk about lenses and talk about cameras and talk about things like that of gear. And I wanted to do this one more of a show, don't just tell. So hopefully it's been helping you out to realize if this is the lens for you or not. You're seeing how well the autofocus can work with my Sony a7 IV or not. And you can see how well the footage looks and the color grading and everything with this camera and lens combo setup, that maybe it'll be for you, maybe not, but it is for me. So if you have any questions regarding this lens, or you want to see some specific examples for another video, please leave a comment down below and I'd be more than happy to. I will be doing my only lens review on it soon enough, but I've been just messing around with it and kind of wanted to give you a reasoning of, you know, the high stakes of getting the perfect lens and finding something good, which the reason why we call it that is because I'm making steak today. So now you know the real reason of the title of the lens, but play on words never hurt anybody. So we just got to be creative with good old YouTube algorithm and click-through rates. But yeah, I'll be doing my only lens review eventually of it to be more specifically centered of certain things how I usually do for my reviews of lenses. But I wanted to give you as much footage today to bring you along with me to make some lovely steak, talk about gear because that's always fun, give you beautiful examples, I think, and just have a good day together. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.